Thank you. Hello the internet, and hello to my subscriber, and hello Mum, hello Elaine, and hello Dave. Anyway, here I am, I'm on Le Shuttle, and I'm the only person in this compartment, which is why I'm doing this, because I won't feel embarrassed, and yeah, and I'm crossing the channel. I'm going to be in France shortly, and I'm heading south. I'm going to head over to Luxembourg for a few days, then down to Germany to see my daughter, and then I'm heading south into Italy, and then once I get to Italy, I may go to Tunisia, I may go to Greece, I may do both, I don't know. But the biggest change for this trip is I've got a new bike, and unfortunately the V-Strom died. Well, it didn't die, it's got something, big problem. Anyway, the guy who's bought it, he thinks he can fix it, so if he fixes it, he's got a great bike. If not, then he's going to break it for parts, and it's going to make lots of other V-Stroms well again. But we'll see. Well, that's the nature of having a motorcycle. But anyway, I've got a Honda Transalp, which is going to be my new friend, my new partner for the next few years. I've put a bigger fuel tank on it, crash bars, other bits and pieces, and so far so good. It's really doing well. Little bit of a bit of a culture shock going down from the V-Strom to this to the Honda, because the Honda's so a lot smaller, a lot lighter, but so far it's doing really good. Anyway, we're now in France, and I'm going to be getting off shortly. Next stop Luxembourg, and this is my next trip. And how long will I be away? I don't know. Couple of weeks, couple of months, we'll see how it goes. So thanks for watching, and more videos to come. Bye bye.
I'm a traveling spirit, I've seen many shores, from the West Pacific to the island of Cano. They treat me like a son anywhere I go, and even though no one can tell, I still feel that I'm alone. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm alone. Leave me stranded, I know how to handle it all on my own. On my own. I have learned that no one else can carry this load. It's a train where I'm the only passenger on board. Oh, there is beauty to enjoy on this road, but even so, I still feel that I'm alone. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm alone. Leave me stranded, I know how to handle it all on my own. I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm alone. Leave me stranded, I know how to handle it all on my own. On my own. So this is how we end up, shades of blue and gray. I feel just like an empty bottle, my dreams are on delay. I just wanna climb on top of a hill and throw it all away, away. Take me far away before my mind spins off and I am all derailed, derailed. Just drive all the way to the rainbow's end. Just drive, and we'll never turn our backs again. So this is how we end up. The game is set to play. Every day remains the same now. One decision we obey. I just wanna climb on top of a hill and throw it all away, away. Take me far away before my mind spins off and I am all derailed, derailed. Just drive all the way to the rainbow's end. Just drive, and we'll never turn our backs again. Just drive. Just drive. Just drive.
And good morning. So there's my little home, and at the moment I'm in Luxembourg. Beautiful Luxembourg. Look at all this greenery. It's absolutely beautiful. And I'm not going far now. I'm going to that castle over there, which is Van Dien Castle. What a beautiful little campsite. The toilets and showers are absolutely lovely. The showers are brilliant because there's no time switch, so you can stand under the shower as long as you want, and it's got a and it's really hot as well. So yeah. Oh, this is a nice bend. Oh, there's the campsite. What a lovely little campsite this is. Right, at the moment it's mid-May. What is it now? Getting towards the later May. What is it? 21st, 22nd of May. So oh, there's the campsite there. What a lovely little part of the world this is. And there's Van Dien Castle just at the top there, which I'm going to see next. I would imagine come sort of July, August, this is quite busy. Mind you, I think sometimes it's like everyone makes for the obvious places. Going to Spain or Portugal or places like that. And they seem to forget about places like this. Right, for this trip I am not using my Garmin sat-nav. I'm just using a 8-inch tablet, which is a Samsung Galaxy Active Tab 3, which means it's waterproof and shockproof. I got the tab off eBay. I think it was 115 quid or something like that, and the mount I got that from Spain. It was about 125 including postage and taxes, and it's not sitting in the mount right at the moment, but there we go. And at the moment I'm sort of struggling with the sat nav. I'm using something called DMD2, and the navigational capabilities are a little bit strange, so subsequently I've been missing junctions and things. Now on my handlebar here I've got a control, and what I can do, I can scroll left and right, or I can zoom in and zoom out, and that's what I'm using to look around my map as I'm going along, and that's working fine actually. But it's just this, it's sometimes, like, yeah, it'll say straight left 220 yards, but it doesn't tell you the road number. So when you are maybe on a motorway and you've got two junctions coming up, it doesn't really tell you which junctions to head for. Also, what I'm finding is if I scroll in like I'm doing now, when you scroll in, sometimes it's not doing it now, but yesterday it wasn't working properly, where I'd scroll in and then it would leave it on zoom, and it wouldn't go back to the centre again, which is really weird. Anyway, it seems to be working fine today. When it comes down to navigation though, I think the Garmin is pretty good, and the TomTom as well, although I must admit the screen on the Garmin is much better than on the TomTom. My only niggle with the Garmin is you're okay in Europe, but if you want to leave Europe you've got to buy the maps, and the maps are quite expensive. Like last year when I went to West Africa, just to go to Senegal and Morocco and Mauritania, I needed to buy two maps, and that would have been nearly £200. I just think it's a lot of money really. So I thought I'd try DMD2 because for £25 a year you can do a subscription and you've got access to the world's maps. I mean, maps from all over the world. My biggest issue at the moment is just getting used to the navigational capabilities. Yeah, it gives you lots of information, the time, your speed, your distance and all that sort of stuff, but I just found that, man, this one really, what it's really for is when you're going over cross country, down tracks and things like that. But anyway, I'm going to learn to live with it and see how I get on with it over the next few weeks. And here we are in Luxembourg. The bit of Luxembourg I'm in is in northern Luxembourg, and it's not far from the German border actually. Not far at all. So we're not far from Van Dien Castle now, we're about 8 miles. And I'm just driving through northern Luxembourg. When it's strange because when you're in the UK, because everything's so familiar and everything like that, and I don't know, I hate the driving in the UK, absolutely hate it. But when you come to Europe, everyone drives a lot more easily. Everyone seems to drive at a normal pace, not like in the UK where you'll be trying, you know, somewhere in Scotland and you'll get someone who's driving at 20 miles an hour because they want to look at all the trees and the scenery, which is nothing wrong with that, but sometimes, you know, you just got to go with the flow. But when you're in Europe, it's like there's no rush anymore and you can just take your time, go with the flow and admire the scenery. What beautiful scenery this is. Can't believe it in Luxembourg. I mean, some of these farmhouses are absolutely huge and you go through these little villages and they're absolutely beautiful. A lot of the villages I've been through are very modern, very new. The buildings only look like a few years old, but the buildings are absolutely really nice looking, where in the UK, I don't know, we seem to build ugly buildings. I don't know why that is. Are we frightened of architecture in the UK? I think so. I think we are sometimes. Oh, I'm loving these bendy roads. This is my new bike, the Honda Transalp. On the tyres, I've got Dunlop tyres, Multi-Tour I think they're called, and they're really quite good. I've been doing, past couple of weeks, I've been going out in Scotland on the logging trails, and I've been over some really rough gravelly roads and the tyres have been exceptionally good. I did an off-road day one day with Off-Road Scotland, and I kept up with the pack, and they had knobblies on, and the bike did really well. But it seems that, mind you, I've not been on any mud or anything too wet or damp at the moment, so I can't talk about being in the mud. But on dry gravel and shale and dirt, the tyres are pretty good, and on tarmac the tyres are excellent. They really do stick to the tarmac quite well. They sort of remind me of the Metzeler Torrents. I mean, those tyres are absolutely brilliant because they just stick to the road like glue. And I've also been out in the wet as well, and these Dunlops really do stick to the road in the wet. They give you a lot of confidence. Oh, look at this beautiful view here. When I woke up this morning, I was giddy with excitement because I'm in Europe, I'm away, I've got no one phoning me, no one hassling me, no one sending me emails, and I felt giddy with excitement, just wanting to get out there. Notsvandian Castle, and I've wanted to go there for a long while, but I've never managed it, and I finally got to go and see it. It's not brilliant in terms of castles. I've been to some that have been absolutely incredible, but for €15 it really is quite good, especially considering that in the late 1800s it was sold for scrap and people started taking away all the stones. There was no roof left, and so it was bought by the King of Luxembourg, and they've been restoring it ever since. And the castle itself, it's been there since Roman times, just a small bit, and then they built on it in the 1100s or 1200s, and then there was a massive transformation between the 14 and 1500s, which is what you see today. And it's really good, and there's a little car park just about here. Initially, when I came past here last year, I just thought you had to go up lots of steps, but no, there's a little car park here, and it's a couple of minutes walk up there, and it's €15. That was including the €2 audio guide as well, so €13, €2 for the audio guide, and it's pretty good. So if you're passing this way, come and give it a look, as it's a really good castle. And that is why you can't take two bends too wide sometimes, because you never know what's around the corner. And hello again, and that behind me is Borscheid Castle, and if you're in this part of the world it's well worth a visit. It costs €7 to get in, €2 for the audio guide, and the audio guide is really informative. and I think I enjoyed that more than Vandian Castle, to be honest. Initially there was a castle here made out of wood about the 11th century. Then the 12th century they made a stone castle. Then they kept expanding it, 13th, 14th century, saw bigger expansions. And by the 16th century it was huge, colossal, a massive big castle. And this is where everyone, there was a 30-year war in the 1600s, so a lot of the villagers used to come and hide here. But by the 1700s it was starting to fall into disrepair, and the bloodline was starting to run out, and by the 1800s, mid-1800s, it was sold for scrap. It was sold for all the stone, and what you've actually got here is about half, less than half of what actually used to be here. The castle as it was before it was sold was absolutely huge, but it was mid 1850 was put up for sale for stone, and lots of the stone was taken away, and then the state stepped in a few years later and bought the remains by the late 1800s, and over the years they've been renovating it, and it's quite good actually. It's still derelict, but you can get a feeling of the atmosphere of what it was like. But the original castle, going back to, if that was still here now, it would be absolutely colossal. Anyway, that's me. That's 2 castles in one day, and tomorrow I'm going to hit the road. So thanks for watching. Bye bye. hello, and it's another sunny morning in Germany, and it's sunny but a little bit cold, about 14-15 degrees at the moment. So I've just stopped for a little break, and in Germany, one of the things I love in Germany, you get little not service stations but little parking areas off the motorway, off the autostrada. It's and the beautiful thing about it is there's always toilets and places you can sit under the trees, and they're immaculately clean as well. I can't see this happening in the UK because it'd just be full of rubbish. But yeah, it's always peaceful. You can just stop, use a toilet, they're always clean, no rubbish anywhere, and no hassle. So I've just stopped. I'm about halfway from Saarbrücken to Frankfurt, and that's where I'm heading for now, heading for Frankfurt. Speak to you soon. Hello the internet, and hello to my subscriber. And here I am in Frankfurt, and this is the first part of my journey really. It's not, Frankfurt is really the start, because I've come here to see my daughter. But before I did that, I come over on the Les Shuttle, got over to Calais, then I went to Borscheid, and I went there in northern Luxembourg. I wanted to go and see Vianden Castle and also Borscheid Castle, which I did. Then I went down to Saarbrücken because I wanted to go and see the steelworks there, and I wanted to go to the museum there as well, because a little bit of history that I wanted to go and see face to face. And then I came home to Frankfurt, and I've had a couple of days in Frankfurt. I was going to stay here a few more days, but in a couple of days' time we're going to get 3 days rain. So tomorrow I'm heading south. Probably what I was going to do, I was going to head down to Innsbruck and then go over the Alps to Bolzano. But looking on the webcam for the Stevlio Pass, it's still full of snow. So I'll either go around Switzerland or go through Switzerland. I don't know yet. I'm going to head south anyway tomorrow and see where I end up. So the plan at the moment, really, I'm going to head south. I'm going to head into Italy. I'm going to get down to the bottom of Italy, and then I'm either going to hang a left and go through Greece towards Turkey, or I'm going to hang a right and go through Sicily, then maybe over to Tunisia. I don't know. We'll see what it's like when I get down to Italy. I might do both, you never know. So anyway, that's me. Everything's going great. The weather's a little bit changeable in Frankfurt at the moment. We had some heavy rain last night. But the bike is doing really well. The more miles I do, the more I'm liking it. So the journey really starts tomorrow. So keep watching and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.